Hi, friends. Welcome back. Today we are going on a big journey with a very famous, very strong man. His name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe you know him from big action movies, punching bad guys and saving the day. Maybe you know he was once the governor of California, the leader of one of the biggest states in America. Maybe you even know he was once crowned the greatest bodybuilder on planet Earth. But here is something you may not know. Arnold did not start rich. He did not start famous. He grew up in a tiny village in Austria, in a small house with no running water and no fancy toys. His family did not have much money at all. So how did a boy from a small village become one of the most successful men in the world? He wrote it all down in his book called Be Useful. Inside, he shares 7 powerful tools, like tools in a toolbox, that helped him build his entire life, brick by brick. Today, we are going to open that toolbox together. We will look closely at each tool, hear real stories about how Arnold used them, and learn how we can use them too, no matter how old we are or where we live. Grab a comfy seat. Let's begin this journey. The first tool in the toolbox is have a clear vision. What does vision mean? It means a picture in your mind of exactly what you want your life to look like. Not a blurry, foggy picture. A sharp, clear one, like a photograph. Here is a real story. When Arnold was just a young boy, he found an old magazine. Inside, there was a photo of a bodybuilder, a man with huge, powerful muscles. Arnold stared at that photo for a long, long time. At that very moment, something clicked inside him. He did not just think, that looks cool. He thought, I am going to look exactly like that man one day. That was his first clear vision. But he didn't stop there. His vision kept growing bigger and clearer, piece by piece, like putting together a puzzle. First, he pictured himself as the strongest bodybuilder in his town. Then, he pictured himself as the strongest bodybuilder in the whole world. Then he pictured himself moving all the way to America, a country he had never even visited. Then he pictured himself as a movie star, even though he could barely speak English yet. Each picture was clear and specific, not fuzzy. He didn't just say, I want to be successful. He said exactly what success looked like, down to the smallest detail. Arnold believed something very powerful. If you can see it clearly in your mind, your brain will quietly start looking for ways to make it real. It's like setting the destination on a map before you start driving. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. So here is a little activity for you. Close your eyes for a second. Picture your own dream, not fuzzy, but sharp and clear, like a photograph. What does it look like? What are you doing? Where are you standing? Hold on to that picture. That is your vision, and it is the very first tool. The second tool is never think small. Lots of people carry a tiny voice in their head that whispers, don't dream too big. That's not for someone like you. Arnold calls this kind of thinking a trap, a small box that keeps you stuck. Let's look at what happened when young Arnold moved to America. He didn't just want to be a pretty good bodybuilder. He announced out loud to anyone who would listen, I will become Mr. Universe. I will be the greatest bodybuilder who has ever lived. People laughed at him. They said his accent was too strange, his dream was too big, and it would never happen for a poor immigrant kid with barely any money in his pocket. But Arnold refused to shrink his dream down to fit what other people believed was realistic. And later, when he decided to become an actor, it happened again. Movie people told him, no one wants to watch a bodybuilder with giant muscles and a funny accent trying to act in movies. Once again, instead of shrinking his dream, Arnold made it even bigger. He didn't just want a small part in one movie. He wanted to become one of the biggest movie stars in the entire world. Here's the secret Arnold discovered. Big dreams scare other people far more than they scare you. Other people feel uncomfortable around giant dreams because it reminds them of the small dreams they gave up on. But that discomfort is not your problem to fix. Your job is to keep dreaming big anyway. So the next time somebody tells you that's too big for you, don't shrink. Smile politely and quietly make your dream even bigger in your own head. The third tool is work hard, really, really hard. Here's something important Arnold wants everyone to understand. Dreams and visions are completely free. Anyone can dream, but turning a dream into something real takes hard work, done again and again, every single day, even on the days you don't feel like it. When Arnold was training to become a bodybuilder, he didn't just go to the gym sometimes. He went every single day, including holidays, including birthdays, including days when his muscles were so sore he could barely walk up the stairs. While other people were resting, Arnold was in the gym lifting one more rep. He has a favorite saying, "Effort beats talent when talent doesn't put in the effort." In simple words, it means even if someone is naturally more talented than you, if they are lazy and you work hard, you will eventually pass them by. Arnold compares building a successful life to building a brick wall. You cannot build the whole wall in one single day. That's impossible. But you can add one brick today, and one more brick tomorrow, and one more the day after that. Some days, adding that brick is easy. Other days, it feels heavy and hard, and you really don't want to do it. But the people who succeed are the ones who add their brick anyway, especially on the hard days. Over months and years, all those small bricks stack up into something enormous. A wall so tall that people look at it later and say, "Wow, how did you build that?" And the honest answer is always, one brick at a time. So here's a question for you to think about. What is one small brick you could add to your own dream today? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. The fourth tool is sell, sell, sell. Now, this doesn't mean selling toys, lemonade, or candy bars. It means something bigger. You must learn to share your ideas and your value with the world, confidently and clearly, without hiding in the corner. When Arnold first tried to break into the movie business, many people slammed the door in his face. They said things like, "Nobody wants to watch a giant bodybuilder with an accent nobody can even pronounce." Instead of giving up quietly, Arnold walked into meeting after meeting, stood up straight, looked people in the eye, and said with total confidence, "I am going to be a star. Just wait and see." At first, almost nobody believed him, but he kept selling his vision of himself over and over, meeting after meeting, year after year, until slowly, people started to believe it too. Eventually, a whole world believed it. Here's the important lesson hidden inside this tool. If you don't believe in your own ideas and your own worth, why would anyone else? Confidence is not about being loud or bragging. It's about being clear and steady about what you offer and not shrinking away just because someone might say no. So the next time you have a good idea, in class, at home, with your friends, don't hide it in your pocket. Speak it out loud. Share it with confidence. That is selling your value, and it's a skill worth practicing every day. The fifth tool is shift from me to we. In the earlier years of his life, Arnold worked incredibly hard, mostly for himself, to become stronger, richer, and more famous. That's normal, and there's nothing wrong with working hard for your own goals. But over time, Arnold discovered something surprising. True, deep happiness comes from lifting up other people, not just yourself. So he began giving back in big ways. He started after-school programs to help kids stay active, healthy, and off the streets. He worked hard to protect forests, oceans, and clean air for future generations. As governor, he used his powerful voice and fame not just to boost himself, but to help millions of people he would never even meet. He realized that asking only, "What can I get?" makes life feel small and lonely after a while. But asking, "What can I give?" makes life feel full, meaningful, and connected to other people. This doesn't mean you have to become a governor or a movie star to help others. It can be small, helping a classmate who is struggling, sharing your snack, cheering up a friend who is sad, or picking up trash to keep your park clean. Every act of thinking, big or small, adds real meaning to your life. The sixth tool is break your mirrors. This is a fun and clever way of saying, don't get stuck staring backward at your old wins, feeling comfortable and safe forever. A mirror only shows you what you already are. It never shows you what you could become. Arnold became the greatest bodybuilder in the entire world. He could have simply stayed there forever, admiring that reflection in the mirror, enjoying being champion again and again. It would have been safe. It would have been comfortable. But instead, he broke that mirror. He walked away from bodybuilding at the peak of his success and stepped into a brand new, scary world, acting, where he was a total beginner all over again, facing rejection after rejection. Later, once he became a giant movie star, he broke that mirror too and stepped into an even scarier world, politics, running to become governor of California, something almost nobody thought a movie star could actually do. Every single time, Arnold let go of the safe, comfortable reflection he had already mastered and walked bravely into a brand new room where he had to start as a beginner again. Breaking your mirror is scary. Starting over feels uncomfortable, but it is often the exact moment when the biggest growth happens. So don't be afraid to leave behind what feels easy and safe. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is break the mirror and walk through the door. The seventh and final tool is, don't be afraid of failure. Here's something that might surprise you. Arnold failed a lot. He lost bodybuilding competitions before he ever won one. Movie directors said no to him more times than anyone could count. Critics laughed at his accent and said he would never make it in Hollywood. But Arnold never let failure be the end of his story. He believed something very different from most people. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is actually a necessary step on the road toward success. Every time he lost a competition, he studied exactly what went wrong, adjusted his training, and came back stronger the next time. Every time a director said no, he learned a little more about what he needed to improve and tried again with a movie producer down the street. Think about it like learning to ride a bike. Nobody rides perfectly on the very first try. You wobble, you fall, maybe you scrape your knee, but you don't quit forever after one fall. You stand back up, hop back on, and try again, a little wiser than before. So the next time you fail at something, a test, a game, a new skill, don't let it crush you or convince you to give up. Feel sad for a little while if you need to. That's okay. But then stand back up, dust yourself off, and try again. That is exactly how winners are made, not by never failing, but by never staying down. Let's walk through the whole toolbox one more time, together. Have a clear vision. Picture your dream sharply, like a photograph. Never think small. Big dreams scare other people, not you. Work your hardest. Add one brick to your wall every single day. Sell, sell, sell. Share your value with the world, confidently. Shift from me to we. Real happiness comes from helping others too. Break your mirrors, leave your comfort zone, and grow into something new. Don't be afraid of failure. Falling down is simply a step toward standing taller. Arnold Schwarzenegger began his journey with almost nothing. No money, no fame, no connections, just a tiny village and a big dream. But by using these 7 simple tools again and again, day after day, year after year, he built an extraordinary life. And here is the best part. These tools are not just for movie stars or governors. They work for anyone, for you, for me, for kids and grown-ups alike, no matter where you come from or what you have today. So go out into the world, open your own toolbox, and be useful.